Is that Spencer King? Oh, okay. How you guys doing? I am not famous. I don't know if you knew that. I am not famous. I don't want to be, I kind of want to get famous. I don't want to get too famous though. I want to get like Dave Coulier famous, right? Just famous enough to where people recognize me but don't care. You know, like just be in an airport and have people like, is that Spencer King? Oh, okay. Oh, he's flying coach. Oh, that's weird. Oh, man, it's great to be here, you guys. I don't know if you know this about comedy shows, but they're all sold out. And any empty seats are just people that died on the way to the show. So good job. Good job making it here. As people look to an empty seat. Oh, that's too bad. That is too bad. Get up. No. But I live here now. I live here in Utah, and it's nice. I can't drive in the weather here. I'm from Texas originally. I can't drive in snow. I don't know what it is with the roads here, you guys, but somebody in the state government got together and they were like, hey, you guys know the paint that we use on the highways here in Utah? Yeah, I got a great idea. How about when it's dark and it gets wet, it disappears completely? How about that? Yeah. No, it won't matter if your headlights are on. No, it won't. Just bounce right off. You'll just be driving and it'll be like, hey, where'd the lanes go? They're gone. I'm guessing now. I'm guessing. No, but I can't drive in snow. I'm horrible at driving in snow. What I do is I just do the thing where I follow the guy in front of me. Like if I'm driving in a blizzard, you know, I just lock onto the two little red lights and it doesn't matter where I was going. Now I'm going where this guy's going. Like, he could drive off a cliff. I'd be like, well, I guess we're dying now. I guess that's happening. Yeah, I don't care. I followed a guy to his house once. I just followed him to his house, got out of the car, was like, can I sleep here tonight? The weather's crazy out there. Saw a guy driving a Prius in a blizzard. That was hilarious. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's put that on the bucket list. He was holding on for dear life on the steering wheel, and I could tell in his head he was just thinking to himself, I'm doing this for the environment, you know. Meanwhile, I'm behind him in a Jeep, you know, like, the environment's trying to kill you. Get out of my way. No, man, you guys don't play around. They're putting the death toll on the highways. Have you seen that? That's messed up, isn't it? That's, like, here's the thing. I'm a gamer, and I realized how much of a gamer I am because the first thing I thought when I saw the number was, I could beat that. It's not a very high score. I'll tell you what would be really messed up is to be looking at that, like, number and then see it tick up one, right? While you're looking at it. That would ruin your day, wouldn't it? You're just like, I'm just trying to get to work. I don't need to be reminded of my own mortality. Married, I've been married for 13 years. Yeah. All right, that seemed a little exuberant, but that's what married 13 years feels like. Yeah, I'll just go with that. No, man, here's the thing. I'm not very good at being married, but I am good at pissing my wife off. I'm really good. I'm the only one that can make her swear. I'm proud of that. Yeah, her parents have never heard her swear, and they don't believe me. They're always like, she doesn't swear. I'm like, yeah? Well, you've never lost $500 at a craps table. Turns out she swears a lot. And apparently I have what they call a gambling problem. That's what we learned on that trip. One time I ticked my wife off so bad that for the next 3 days, I didn't eat anything she cooked. Just in case. I was smart to do that because the next day she made me this plate of cookies and was being all weird about it. You know, she came up to me, she's like, I made you some cookies. I'm like, how about we give one to the cat and see what happens? How about that? If he makes it, I'll have one. One time I got into an argument with my wife. It was a really bad argument, and then I had to drive to a show, and so I'm driving angry going to this show, and as I'm driving, this is the thought process going through my head. Man, if I got into an accident right now, that would show her. She'd be so upset that she was angry with me when I left the house. She'd be like, I can't believe I was mad at you. I could have lost you forever. I'm so sorry. I'll never be angry again. Man, could you imagine if I died? That'd be awesome. And that's real marriage right there. When you're fantasizing about your own death out of spite. Yeah, some people who aren't married, they don't like that joke. They're like, does it really get like that? Yeah, it does. It does. Oh, man, I've got kids. I got 2 kids. I got a 3-year-old and a 9-month-old. And yeah, I'll tell you right now, it doesn't take long to pick a favorite. Have you met a 3-year-old? They're horrible people. My son walks around, he speaks about himself in the third person, so he sounds really uppity, you know, like he just walks around the house like, Anthony wants a snack, Anthony wants a drink. I'm like, Anthony better stop talking like he thinks he's better than me. I don't know who you think you are, Kanye, but you better just chill out. Oh, man. 3-year-olds, they're like little stoners, too. I don't know if you knew that. They are. They're like stoners. Think about it. No work ethic, short attention span, love tater tots. They're little stoners. I'll give you an example. I came home the other day and my son was just sitting in the living room, just staring at his hands for no reason at all. He sat there for like 5 minutes just staring at his hands. I finally got to the point where I was like, so do you want some nachos or something? Oh. So I think he's gonna grow up to be a dermatologist because he's obsessed with this mole that I have on my neck. I got a mole on my neck that looks like a tick. The reason I know it looks like a tick is because sometimes when people see it, they go, holy crap, there's a tick on your neck. I always gotta be like, nah, it's just a mole. Thanks for pointing it out though. It's not like it's something I'm self-conscious about. No, man, my son hates it. He wants it gone. Every time I hold him, he just sits there picking at it with his little razor blade fingernails that kids have. Nobody tells you that. Nobody says to you, yeah, your kids, they're Wolverine. They have claws. No, man, he wants it gone. He's so aggressive at trying to remove it that it's starting to freak me out. Like maybe he knows something I don't. Because I've heard about dogs that can smell cancer, right? So I'm wondering maybe my son has that superpower and he's just trying to save me the only way he knows how. It's like, Dad, you don't understand. If I don't get this off, you don't see me graduate. Oh. No, I'm a stay-at-home dad. That's because I do this at night. I stay home, and also because my wife made much better choices in her education and career. My in-laws, they always ask me, they're always like, what happens if the comedy career doesn't work out? And I'm like, that's why your daughter has a master's degree. Yeah, I'm not stupid. I travel a lot doing stand-up. I just was in Canada not too long ago. I don't know if you guys have been to Canada. Super nice place, very polite. Everywhere I went, people just apologized for everything. Like everywhere I went in Canada, it was like, oops, sorry about that, sorry. Like you get to Canada, there's a billboard that says, welcome to Canada, sorry. I didn't realize how weird it was until I got to my hotel and I got on the elevator. I pushed 10, which was my floor. Guy on the elevator with me pushes 6, and I'm guessing he's Canadian because he immediately starts apologizing. He's just like, oh, sorry, I pushed 6 there. I see you're on floor 10. Gonna have to make a little pit stop first. Sorry about that, and hope it doesn't ruin your trip. I'm like, dude, that's how elevators work. Made me want to get mugged while I was in Canada, just to have that experience, like the most polite mugging of my life. Just have some guy come up to me, you know, stab me in the gut, take my money, and apologize for it. Just like, sorry I had to stab you there, but, you know, times have been tough up here too, and I got a wife and kids back at the house, and I gotta feed them, and I saw you walking along there. I thought to myself, you know, that guy looks like he has some money. Maybe I should stab him. Anywho, there's a hospital down the street. You might want to check that out. And other than that, I hope it doesn't ruin your trip. Thank you. I drive when I prefer to drive. I prefer driving to flying. But lately I've been seeing like billboards on the roads that like really freak me out. Like I saw this billboard. It said, "Hit a pedestrian, change your lives." I was thinking I could use a change. Yeah, my life's been in kind of a rut. Let's change it up, see what happens, right? Turns out that sign's wrong, because my life didn't change at all, really. And neither did his, because he was already in a wheelchair, so it wasn't... Okay, some of you all are taking that a little too seriously. That did not actually happen. I did see that billboard, and that was the sequence of events that played through my brain, and I had a slight chuckle. I'll tell you what would be actually hilarious is to be driving, get distracted by that sign, and then actually hit a pedestrian. Wouldn't that be, or just driving along like, oh, hit a pedestrian, change your lives. That is so true. Bam! Sir, are you okay? Yeah, you're not gonna believe what I was looking at when I hit you. Yeah, you just got crushed by a ton of irony. Thank you. That's the weirdest applause break I think I've ever gotten in my life. They were like, do we applaud that? I don't know. He just hit somebody with his car. I don't know how I feel about that. I was driving in Colorado and I saw a sign that said, "Caution, eagles on highway," which at first I thought was ridiculous, till I hit Don Henley. And then it made sense, because it was a dark desert highway and I was gonna stop and help him out, but a voice inside my head said, "Don't look back. You can never look back." Congratulations if you got that joke. That's my favorite joke to tell at colleges, because there's nothing funnier than watching 18-year-olds try to figure out who Don Henley is. They're just like looking at each other like, "Don Henley? Is he the new member of One Direction? Is he taking Zayn's place?" And then they look it up on their phones. They're just like, "Oh, it's some old guy. It's some weird old guy." Oh man, I was driving through Arizona and I hit a Roadrunner, which I thought was pretty awesome. Because it turns out, not hard at all. Not hard at all. The thing just ran in front of my car. I was just like, wow, I wonder what was wrong with that coyote, He had all those fancy contraptions. He should have just went to CarMax. I was having a good laugh about it until I saw a coyote over on the side of the road with roller skates and a rocket pack. A little tear coming down his face. And then a penguin rode by on a tricycle, and that's how I found out that my apartment had a carbon monoxide leak. So, turns out I've never even been to Arizona. Yeah, get a detector. That's the moral of that joke. Building a wall, man. They're building a wall. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think a wall's gonna work for two words. Human slingshot. No, man. I'm just waiting for that to happen, and I'm waiting for the videos to hit YouTube. That would be awesome. Can you imagine just them strapping some guy into this huge, apparatus, are you ready, man? Listo? Welcome to America, dude. Seriously, if you come to America in a human slingshot, you can stay. We need that ingenuity. No. I'm half Mexican, and so I really enjoy Mexican food. And I try to find the best Mexican food anywhere I'm at. And I saw this one place by my house, and the advertisement had said, "Come see how authentic we are." I was like, ooh, a challenge. All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, it turns out really authentic. As soon as I walked in, I was kidnapped by a drug cartel. And then 36 hours later and $10,000 less, that would turn out to be the best burrito I've ever had. It's like a freedom burrito. Yay. Oh, man. Have you guys, I went to see the Body Worlds exhibit. Anybody seen that Nightmare Factory? Anybody been there? You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know what it is, it's the exhibition of real human bodies. It's dead people. That's what it is. It's dead people with no skin. They just stand there in weird poses with no skin and very little. They leave some stuff, like they leave the eyebrows and the lips and the nose and the ears, which turns out is just enough detail to recognize someone. How horrifying would that be? Just walking through the exhibit, all of a sudden it's like, Mr. Johnson? And he's just like... It's weird, man. At the end, they try to recruit you. They try to recruit you into doing like that after you die. They're always like, are you interested in plastination? That's what they call it, plastination. It's just a scientific word for shellac, because that's basically what they do. No, they're always like, are you interested in plastination? I'm like, man, I thought Mormon missionaries were creepy. Can you imagine having to be that guy going around like malls, walking up to people like, I bet you'd look great with no skin. No, man, I got braces as an adult. Anybody else? Clap if you got braces as an adult. All right, there's a few of you. That's good. I was 28 when I got my braces. 28. I got my braces at 28 because when I was a kid, I didn't want to look stupid. Yeah, great idea, Spencer. You don't want kids making fun of you? How about adults? How about that? Yeah, how about grown-ups and children, as it turns out? Yeah, kids, doesn't matter how old you are when you get braces, kids still make fun of you. And that's why I don't substitute at that junior high anymore. It's kind of hard to hold authority over a group of kids that have seen you weep. This was my wife's idea to get the braces. She was like really insistent on me getting braces. She was just like, you should get braces. I'm like, I don't want braces. No, you should get braces. Well, how about I make a suggestion about your physical appearance? Yeah, I know, bad idea. But to be honest, seemed like a good time to bring up the mustache. Because really, when else do I bring it up, Do I wait till we're cuddling one night and then just start playing with it, Just like, wow, honey, that's so thick and lustrous. It's beautiful. Oh, we're sorry, Mario, your princess is in another castle. Go see Body Worlds. Oh, man, so... Things have been going great. Like I said, I'm half Mexican. My mom she's from Texas. That's where I grew up, and she's Hispanic. And I don't know if you know this about Hispanic mothers, but they are crazy. They are nuts. Like my mom threw stuff at us. It doesn't matter what it was. It was whatever she could get her hand on, like a shoe or a book or the cat. She threw the cat at me once. She was just like. No, man, she didn't want to cross her. And a lot of times, I tried my best, but sometimes I'd come home late, past my curfew, and I'd get home and my mom would be sitting there just waiting for me, just something in her hand, ready to go. She would just look at me and she'd just be like, Mijo, what time is it? I'm like, it's 1. What time were you supposed to be home? 11? Yeah, that was 2 hours ago. I've been up for 2 hours waiting for you, worrying about you for 2 hours. And I'm just sitting here looking at this thing in her hand, getting ready to dodge it. She sees me looking at it. She looks at me and she's like, oh, mijo, you see this here? I'm not going to throw it at you because I love you. I'm like, okay, I love you too. Good night, mijo. Good night. Oh, jeez. There you see what it's like to have people lie to you? I'll break it down a little bit here. I've dealt with depression for years, and it's interesting. It's interesting to deal with it. It's a mental illness right? And people, they treat it differently than they do physical illnesses. Like, I always get people that are like, have you ever just tried getting over it? Have you ever just tried being happy? I'm like, I could stab you right now. That might make me happy for a little bit. It's like weird. We could do that to people with mental illness, but as soon as you start doing it to people with physical disabilities, then you're a jerk, you know? You know, I can't be like, oh, you have polio? Well, walk it off, Roosevelt. I'm okay. Trying to get healthier. It's not going well. It's not going well. I'm kind of fat, and I'm like not fat enough to where I can joke about it, but fat enough to where it makes, you know, me uncomfortable. You know, people kind of look at me and they're like, yeah. You know, like I sweat, you know, like when I'm just standing around. That's fun. But I'm trying to get healthier. Here's the thing. One thing I'm doing is I'm not drinking things with sugar in it. I cut out sugary drinks. Okay? And instead, I drink diet stuff. And a lot of people like to point out to me how hypocritical that is. They're always like, well, that stuff has aspartame, and that'll give you cancer. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But if you get cancer, people think you're brave. If you get type 2 diabetes, people just think you're lazy. So guess which one I'm gonna get? Yeah, I don't want people thinking I'm lazy. Think about it. There's no GoFundMe for Jeff's type 2 diabetes. They're always like, well, he just used the money for snacks. He just needs to get out and walk more. There's a double standard when it comes to cancer, too. I don't know if you knew this. When it comes to cancer, there's a double standard, right? Think about it. When you hear somebody dies of lung cancer, what's your first question? Were they a smoker? Were they a smoker, right? Because if they were a smoker, screw them. That's horrible, but that's the attitude people have. They're like, oh, he smoked, he deserves to die. If he is that stupid to put that kind of crap into his body. Yes, I'll have a large Diet Coke, please. A large Diet Coke. A lot of Diet Coke fans. You guys like Diet Coke? Yeah. You know who else likes Diet Coke? Your tumor. I like watching ghost hunting shows. Here's what I learned from a ghost hunting shows. Turns out all ghosts speak English. Did you know that? Every time they get a recording of a ghost voice, it's always in perfect English. It could be like in Germany, and it's still like, hey, buddy. Which makes me think there's a really aggressive English-speaking campaign going on the other side. Which is good news for us, because it means God's probably an American, like we thought. I got a cat. I got a cat because of the depression, right? A friend told me, he was like, oh, you're feeling depressed? Well, you should get a pet. Those help with depression. What he should have said is, you should get a dog, because those help with depression. Right? Because a dog loves you no matter who you are or what you do. Like, you could be the worst person in the world, like show up late at night at your house, dead body on your shoulder. The dog doesn't care. He's just happy to see you. You know, he's just there like, hey, how's it going? Glad you're back. Oh, I see you brought another friend to play with. That's cool. Cool, I'll start on the hole. Dog's on your side is what I'm saying. My cat's a jerk, man. My cat, all he does is just sit around the house all day, just laying there, judging me. Just all day judging me for my poor life decisions. Like, I wake up, he's right there in the bed next to me, just like, oh, look who's up at 1:30 p.m. Wow, somebody must have something important to do to be up this early. Yeah, I know I sleep all day, but that's because I'm a cat. This is called a bath. Look into it. Yeah, I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody, but the other day I was in my car, and this has happened to me a couple of times. The other day I was in my car, and I was driving, and a bunch of songs came on one after another that were songs that I loved, like 7 or 8 in a row. And most people would get excited for that. Not me. After about the 8th one, I started to get nervous. I was driving just like, am I about to die? Because like, what if God is up there looking down on me just like, I know how you love that music, my son. I thought you should hear it one last time. And the car goes flying off a cliff or something, you know? But then a really crappy song came on and I was like, oh, okay, we're good. But then I get nervous even more because what if the last song you hear before you die is the song that you're stuck with for eternity? Yeah, I don't want to be flipping through the air in my car, all of a sudden hear something like, I'm all about that bass, about that bass, about that bass. Be like, no, treble. So, I don't know what happens. Like, death is a weird thing, man. People, like, it's weird to talk about it in front of people, man. People get uncomfortable, much like you folks right now. It's weird. What's weird about it is like when you ask somebody how they would choose to die, they always say the same thing, right? They always say, I would want to go peacefully in my sleep. I would want to go peacefully. That's how I want to go, peacefully in my sleep. Here's the thing, we don't know. What if that turns out to be the most painful way to go? Wouldn't that be horrible? We're just sitting around Grandpa, he's laying there looking all peaceful, but inside his nerves and neurons are all firing at the same time. So in his head, he's just like, Gah! And we just watch him like, oh, there he goes. So peaceful. And that's how I want to go. Before I get out of here, I got one thing to tell you. I don't know what happens when you die. I don't know what happens. I hope there's a God. I really do. I hope there's a God, and I hope God is black, personally. I do. I hope God is black because I hope heaven would just be watching videos of white people's reaction to seeing God for the first time. It would be priceless. It would never get old for me. I would just sit there watching like, here it comes. Here it comes. Ah, look at their face. Look at their face. They didn't know. They didn't know. Because even like if you're not racist, white people will probably still be surprised. They just show up like, wow, this is heaven. This is so nice. Look at this. This is great. Oh. Well, how about that? That is great. Look at that. I tell you what, I am on board with this. Let that be known. Atheist racist, that's the one I really want to see. Atheist racist is twofer for that guy. Yeah, he was wrong about a few things. Like for him, he's just mad that he's there. He just shows up just like, oh man, there is an afterlife? Oh, and there is a God? Oh, that's her? Are you kidding me? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I'm Spencer King. Thank you for coming out.
Local man robs Wendy's with alligator. We're the alligator boys now.
And the man that they